r/ProRevenge.
I reported my former landlord to the IRS for tax fraud as revenge for him making up lies on me to keep my deposit. He had to file for bankruptcy and lost his condo. I'm glad he lost his fucking house. I found this guy on Craigslist a few years ago. I like renting condos from private owners as opposed to renting apartments. Typically, by renting a condo, it's safer, you have more caring residents, you get to have a luxury apartment-style home with all the amenities and you can negotiate pricing, etc. I am an excellent tenant and anyone who I have rented from will tell you that. I paid a $1,000 deposit to move into this guy's condo. I was on a year lease. He lives in another state but we were on the same time zone. On month 8 of my lease, I came home to a door that wouldn't open. I couldn't get the door unlocked for shit. I had 2 keys on me. As much as I tried to turn them, I couldn't. One of the keys even broke in the lock. I waited 2 hours. I called, texted, and emailed my landlord and he did not pick up. I thought maybe he had someone to change the locks for some reason. I honestly didn't know what to think and had no one to help me. The lady who lived across from me saw me in distress as she was going into her apartment. I had never seen her but she asked me if I were okay and I explained to her that I couldn't get into the apartment. She told me that she knows of an on-call locksmith. She gives me his number. I tell her thanks and reach out to my landlord a few more times. No response. I had no choice but to call the locksmith, plus I had to pee like shit. The locksmith arrives and could not get the door unlocked with my key. He says he can replace the lock for like $100. I told him I was renting a condo and couldn't get in touch with the owner and didn't know when would be the next time I could get in touch with him. After he took the lock off, he told me it was faulty. So he replaced the lock. I told the landlord this via email and text and voicemail and told him that I could send him copies of the keys if he wanted. Okay, so fast forward to the end of my lease. I demand that he does a walkthrough with me. He said he wouldn't. I told him that if he didn't do a walkthrough I would be notifying the condo office, as he did not have permission to sublease by the association. He then had a friend to serve as his proxy to come meet me and walk through the unit. The place was spotless. I know how to clean. I took multiple photos and videos and showed his proxy, who is a police officer, the unit. Actually, they are both police officers who used to work together. We both literally tested all the appliances, faucets, checked the blinds, carpets, hardwood. Everything. His proxy gave me the okay and said that everything looked great. I give his proxy the keys and later that night left for my new city. So fast forward to a month later, I haven't heard from him about my deposit. He ignored all my emails and phone calls. He finally gets back with me 2 months after I moved out and has all this ridiculous, made up shit about how I damaged his unit. Broken blinds. Scratches on the hardwood floor. He made it seem like I damaged his door by getting the lock replaced. He said there were scratches on the outside of his door. Rust here and there. Broken dishwasher. Broken sink. Oven was broke. Broken dryer. SMFH, just all fucking lies. I would never leave a unit in that condition. He sent me an itemized list of all the charges that magically came out to be $1,000. The same as my deposit. He was always planning to keep my money. He wanted that money to either ball on it or upgrade his condo. I hated him. I decided I wasn't going to go to court because I had moved to a different state and live alone, but I thought of something. He rented to me under the table and likely didn't claim my rent payments as earned income. I had all my wire transfers on my bank statement. I had his routing and account number and a copy of his driver's license as we agreed to swap IDs when I signed the lease to make sure I wasn't getting scammed. I found his out-of-state address online, gathered all my bank statements, gathered his bank account numbers, and made a report with the IRS. About a few years later, I check up on things and that bastard lost his condo, and lost everything he owned in bankruptcy. I paid for and downloaded his court records and saw proof that he lost everything including his condo and cars and had his bank accounts seized. I'm not sure if he has went to jail or anything, but I'm so glad that bastard got his fucking karma. He stole money from me that I gave him to rent a condo, and he ends up losing that same condo to bankruptcy. Fuck him and anyone who calls him a friend. He can rot for all I care.
A response to the post.
I wouldn't be surprised if your tip-off uncovered something much larger and more systematic. It tends to work out that way.
A response to this comment.
Once a cheater, always a cheater. Also, the IRS are the best people to report him to. They're relentless, and IRS debt is one of two kinds of debt that can't be forgiven by bankruptcy.
A response to the post.
I'm pretty sure the IRS has a whistleblower settlement or something like 10% of whatever funds they seize if you turn someone in. You should look into that. Doc deserved it.
A response to this comment.
The IRS does have a ward if they collect. He would have to step forward to collect.
A response to the post.
This warms my heart. Fuck a slumlord.
Oh, peace response to this comment.
Yes, after this incident I said I never wanted to rent privately again, and if I do rent through an apartment, I try to avoid deposits if possible.
A response to the post.
Were you tempted to send him a message? Was the $1,000 worth it?
Oh, peace response to this comment.
Yes, I was definitely tempted but decided not to as I wanted nothing more to do with him.
A response to the post.
It's inevitable, some people will say. Was the landlord losing his entire life a fair punishment for just $1,000? The answer is, and I shall quote a beloved meth kingpin, you're goddamn right.